Welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 246. Yay.
Yay.
As always, if you want to support the show and or a guaranteed answer to your question and a topic, a super chat is open. Please like and subscribe and all that jazz. Also, become a super cool member. If I'm not ill, I'll actually do streams during the weeks from now on Tuesday. That didn't go so well last Tuesday because, things happened.
What's the deal?
We have a Substack if you don't feel like looking at our faces and just want to listen to it. Apparently, the RSS feed from Substack works with your Apple Podcast and you name it, so it auto-populates. But otherwise, there's a Substack app, and you can go listen to us through there. Here's the link in the chat, and then some standardized shilling. Our good friends over at Skinny Play. As always, they have a promo code for you with me that is apparently not that normal, but get 10% off of anything you buy. And that can be everything all at once or one thing. It's up to you.
That's right.
Then we have our friends over at Prestige, which don't sponsor us or anything, but go give them a visit anyway to spruce up your older B&O gear if nowadays funds are
Woodify
lacking.
it.
Yeah.
Woodify it.
You pull it straight into the current century, not into the 80s.
Pretty much.
From last century. God, that's a long time ago nearly now.
Right.
So
it's a long time. Long time being around the product.
I mean, BioLab 8000s have been around for what, 30 years now?
1996 is when they came out, or 94. I think 6000s. Yeah, something around that time. Correct me if I'm wrong, people.
So we're getting to 30 years of BioLab 8000. Wow.
Yeah, I think they're 90. I think they were at 94, and then the 4000s were at 96. Because AV9000 was released in 1994, which was the first Dolby surround system with the built-in, what's it called? A surround processor, basically, as we now know it in a beloved Beosound theater. But this is, you know what I mean? Like they flew to space with the equivalent what we have now more in cell phones.
Yeah.
So times go and tech improves, right?
Well, apparently we can't fly to the moon with our phone and even today.
But yeah, that's Woodify your grills, bro.
Yeah. How was your week?
It was busy. Did a couple things. Took apart an Avant.
Another video board?
No. This one, I don't understand how somebody could just like tolerate it for so long. But there was also a Renault, and they never covered. The people never covered the bloody TV, man. So there was just all over inside of the glass. None of it was on the display, but my opinion of what it was is the early Avants had the oxidization problem on the back on the panel that it'll get crystally and white.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened to her, and it just grew to the proportions that, because it's a bedroom TV, so by the time she sees it, it's only when it's off, right? Because you can't really see it when it's on. Like
nice and misty and hazy.
Fudge. It's like looking through a shower glass. So I did that on Friday, and not much. Did some installs. Played around with the theater actually yesterday at Stefan's house, and I was blown away. I mean, I got new respect for the 18s with the theater. I swear to God. What the theater does to the speakers on its own, it's unbelievable. Like you've never heard them like that before, no matter what speaker you own.
Yeah, pretty much. It'll be nice once you can finally unpack your BeoLab 90s.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a big day. Hopefully they still turn on. No, they'll be fine.
Yeah, my week was eventful but uneventful.
So what was eventful in it?
Well, Monday evening, I I felt like a fucking cartoon because it got really fucking cold, and my teeth were chattering like in a Looney
Oh
Tunes
God.
cartoon,
Wow.
and I didn't feel so good, and I couldn't get any warmer, and it was like 23 degrees in here, and I was still cold, and so I took a
Hot
hot
bath
shower, and
or a
I
hot shower.
nearly
That's what I would
maxed
do.
out the thermostat on the tap,
Oh God.
and yeah, that's when the projectile vomiting began.
Oh, right on.
As in, like, literally standing up straight out.
Wow.
So that's partially why there wasn't any Tuesday stream, because I felt
What
quite.
did you eat? Like, must have been like food poisoning, bro.
I don't know, some potatoes and some salad and some chicken. But
Well, there's your combo.
we both had the same thing.
So y'all got food poisoned.
Well, she was fine.
Damn, she's got a tougher stomach than you then.
Maybe.
Or you got the sick part.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's another hint to take out of that. She's trying to kill you. You got poisoned, but it didn't work.
So yeah, that was quite unpleasant.
Yeah,
I mean,
that sucks.
it's been a good decade since I've been properly sick like that.
So what did you celebrate with?
Sleeping mostly. God, I felt awful. In the next 48 hours, I probably slept like 40 of it.
Oh God.
So
Yeah, then you were really sick. I remember that. That was for me on a flight back from Dominican Republic, and I had a chicken sandwich on the plane, which is like basically stopping by for gas station sushi somewhere in the middle of nowhere. It's and you're like guaranteed to have something. And yeah, I've never been sicker in my life than that. So I'll never eat on a plane anything that is like prepped somewhere and brought in because you never know how long that was sitting somewhere and they just put a sticker on it. Like, yeah, it expires tomorrow, does it?
well, if you leave it out in the sun,
So
it'll expire yesterday.
that's right. So yeah, that was lesson learned as well.
So yeah, there was that. That also meant I didn't do much of tweaking and things. I'm still playing around with the theater and the extra side speakers, the front left and front right. I'm still not there fully balanced, but at this point in time, they're at minus 10 dB versus the center.
Wow. Like
And
the center, like the left and right's in the theater
yeah,
because you can't turn them off.
no, you can, but in the advanced section you can turn them on, and
Yes.
then you put the what you call it, the microphone down, and it whoops everything, and then only the center normally plays. But in the technical sound guide, it says that if you have big speakers like Beolab 50 or 90, you may want to turn the front left and front right on. And if you do that, even with 50s, you're being shouted over. Like you barely hear the 50s at that point.
Really?
Yeah, so
So what should you add up? Like, should you juice the 50s then?
no, I because they are still at their sort of reference level that you've done with the mic.
Yes.
So yeah, last week I was at minus 7.5 dB, but that is still it's like you turn on the center channel for speech only.
Wow.
And
I kind of agree with that because we've played with it with Kareem. I think it was Tuesday in the store, but we had a set of 20s at the front and a set of 18s in the back.
mm-hmm.
And we had like the we had a scenario where we did it as a cinema, but yeah, the front left and right were also firing, which I don't think they should have when you have 20s. But they were full range, like they were going, even the tweeter and the mid range were going. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think by default they should be turned off if you have front left and front right speakers. But I don't know.
Also, I pushed in a service software to the to my theater, so I'm on version 1311, which now it's 129, I think, is the current one.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found is that your speaker presets actually stay the way that you set them up. They don't randomize anymore. So they fixed that in the code.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because you know how they were all over the map. So that's one plus that I so far found out. I still have an issue, and it's not the theater, of course, it's the panel. Uh, I had to reset it. I don't know if I said that last week. Yeah,
No.
so I actually had to factory reset the panel
What for?
because the internet just wouldn't work.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
and that was once you got the panel going with the LG service remote, because I packed that goofy Magic Wand bullshit. I packed it in the box and it's in the storage now. But this wouldn't turn. The theater would not control it. It would not fire it up. So I created a case, blah blah blah. But like before I do that, I'm gonna test the cables again, because I tested the cables before I even hooked up the theater, because I know there was a known common issue with a couple of theaters showing up with dead LAN cables in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Pin 7 and 8 were missing or opened.
Oops.
So, right? So, yeah, just surprise, motherfucker. So, and you're somewhere in nowhere to do it. So I always carry cat cable with me, anyways. But it wouldn't freaking turn on. So, lo and behold, I was sitting at Stogie's having a cigar, and I just start digging on it, right? Went through a whole bunch of LG forums and blah, blah, blah regarding the G2 panel, all that. So they say unplug it from power for 60 seconds, and
Yeah.
then hold the power button on the bottom of the panel for 30 seconds solid to completely drain out the capacitors and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that?
You don't? Well,
How do
I
you do
guess you
that on
can
this
like
TV?
lift it through the back screws.
Bro, like, come on. So, for all y'all that will have this problem at some point, take a Q-tip, shove it in where the power button is, and then turn it 90 degrees. It'll click. It's like a key, I swear to God. And then just hold it for 30 seconds and you pull it out, and it does power cycle the TV. But since, I did that, didn't really work. So I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, how long is it going to take me? Like, if I were at the client's house, I would have already reset the fuck out of it and start over, right? Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
combat this nonsense. So then I finally just nuked the TV, unplugged it from the theater with the LAN and all that, like logged it in as it's on its own, blah, 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 installed the app, plugged in the theater, reboot all the shit, works perfectly. Comes back, like turn off for 5-10 minutes, turn it back on. I still get no network. So like, let's do that. My button one, which is YouTube. The theater immediately fires up and goes to the kitchen preset, listening preset. So it turns the panel also. And see, like the volume comes on. So the TV is on, you can tell. But this is how long it takes for and if I go to menu, then it shows up with a network deal. Come on. See, network settings. You got to go to the freaking network settings. And then I don't have to do anything really other than go Wi-Fi connection and then go back to my Wi-Fi and just click it and it's done.
Hmm.
And it's so it's so annoying. Like, I understand what's happening, that the TV loses connection, but we have some instances where these were hooked up wirelessly because there was no other way.
I had that a few times with the Harmony, but it was never more than like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it takes about 45 seconds for it to reconnect.
Hmm.
And it is completely LG's fault. Like, there is nothing that theater is doing wrong, because it fires up and everything. And I don't know, maybe because I deleted the LG logo now, they say fuck you to your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe.
I wish I could find that file in the TV's like operating system and put a B&O logo in it instead.
Yeah, B&O, if you're listening, ask LG if you're allowed to do that. Change that with the downloading of the app. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's massively giant B&O powered by LG or something.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. And maybe curtains.
Well, that's maybe a bit too
That's
much to ask.
too much to ask, man. We don't have the computing power. We don't have the computing power to do that anymore.
Well, who knows? LG may be sued by Samsung at this point now.
Why? Because they did also the eye closing ones.
Yeah, I think Samsung does the closing ones that way.
Yeah, like eye closes here. Like you
Yeah,
just that's the last thing you saw.
yeah, yeah, you're dead now.
That's right. Uh, but
So yeah, there is that.
yeah, other than that, I think I screwed up my kitchen preset because I stupid didn't make a copy and I started fiddling. And that's actually the greatest idea that they've ever put on as an implemented thing that you can copy your listening presets and then go in there and either screw them up or make them better, right? Because if you make it better, then you just delete the original and keep the copy rename again. But I did not do that.
Oops. Oh well. I mean,
Also, I think that they should be able to. You should be able to undo what you're doing. So, meaning you go to a speaker that is grayed out in advanced settings, and you can allocate it for, let's say, the front left on the theater, right? If you have a 5-point system,
yeah.
so you can do left and right. But you should be also you are able to change them to, let's say, subwoofers, but you should also have them to turn off, like be able to just turn off. Like there should be an off slot in all the speaker roles, or none, I guess, call it that.
Yeah.
So you can turn them back off, right? Because once you get around in the advanced settings and you go back, they're already on now. They're part of it, and then you can't do anything about them. You can't exclude them.
Yeah. One would think so, but that would be too much like the old menu that everybody understood and knows.
Yeah, I don't mind now that obviously I've been playing with it for a while, installing on these theaters, but I don't mind it now because I remembered what everything is. But I think for like the people that just get it out of the box, it's a bit confusing, especially with the advanced menus and all that jazz. I think that they should also have under the support part of the app, right? When you go to support and whatnot, they should also have a link to download the technical sound guide for the theater. So if you are willing to understand more what's happening with your system after you spend all this money to it, then you can read up on that. But
Yeah. Oh,
again, I think this is also something that like I agree with Andrew Robinson after the podcast. I watched his review,
hmm
and he is right. There is not many people that will buy just this on its own.
no.
It's the people that already have a set of speakers from B&O and they're sick and tired of swapping TVs every 6-7 years for copious amounts of money, and you buy something that is now impervious to time, as far as the looks are concerned, in my opinion, and you just swap the panels. And that's
Well,
it.
especially since the panels are third party fully now, anyway.
Hmm. Like the only thing that the B&O is bound by the balls, I guess, is the app compatibility with the new panels, right? Like as long as LG keeps supporting that they should be fine.
Yeah, but at this point, it's so minimal.
Hmm.
It's just augmenting remote commands, really.
Basically.
Because in the first harmonies and eclipses, it was a whole actual menu. The whole menu is now moved out of the TV or even the app space, and it's on your app on your phone.
Hmm.
Still not sure I'm 100% liking that. I mean, also the app is still a bit weird. It becomes more and more second nature the longer you use it, but
Yeah, but then I think to your point, if you were to have the TV download the entire menu structure, right, or update the menus I don't know, like I don't think it's feasible for B&O to mess about with having their menus being downloaded into the LG panels menu and then convolute the piss out of everything, right? So I think it's the only option that they have is to put it in the app where we're separating our product completely from whatever a screen projector or a CRT panel, whatever you have above it that feeds off. We are going to deal with the sound,
oh,
and then
I get the reasoning for it. It's
yeah,
just I'm not entirely sure I like the in-app experience all that much.
I guess it depends. I have my quirks with it too. Like there are certain things that I would probably change, not definitely change, especially when it comes to the theater playing with it.
I mean, if I'm not gonna get ill again, I'll probably spend some time in Microsoft Paint again, and I'll make a presentation for next week.
All right.
And I'll just make a bunch of screenshots of what should go where, and just copy paste because a lot of things is in weird places. As in like the standard thing that everybody now that Atmos is a thing, everybody wants to see channel allocation all the time.
Yes.
But why isn't that on the front page under sound settings or where you set the treble and bass? Because if you click on the where the treble and bass tab is, it's all the way blank underneath. There's so much space for activities.
Mm-hmm. But if you're on the main page, don't you just tap on the speakers underneath the theater to go right to the roles and stuff?
You can, but that's not what the channel allocation shows you. Because the channel allocation tab shows you what codec you're using, how many channels in, how they're put out, and if it's true image.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull this up on the screen.
So, I mean, it's whenever I speak to people, they always want to know, like, I have all this stuff now. I want to know how it's been used. Like, and hey, this sounds different. Is this X, Y, or Z? What are we doing?
Okay, good, ready. So I just popped up the DNO app.
Yeah.
My 2-bedroom mansion here. So see, like if you click here, then you can go into those speakers and you can change.
Yeah, but that's speaker roles. So you have to go back. Then you go to the 3 dots up top.
Hold on a second. I got your freaking Skype thing in there. Right there.
Product settings. And then you go to signal info.
Oh.
And that is where everybody looks at for quite a lot of time when you're watching new things, new DVDs.
That's such nerd shit, bro. I've never even gone here.
I understand, but the amount of time people that are comparing, let's say, the internal Netflix app versus the app of Netflix on an Apple TV to see like who does what is better. But that is 3-4 clicks versus that could, if you go back to the main thing, like that is so little info. Oops. You could just put no below, back. If you go
like here,
yeah, you could just put that under equalizer on their sound settings.
Oh, for sound, yeah, you could just have a codec, whatever.
Yeah,
the deal you wanted. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even if you click sound settings, right, there's next to nothing in that tab.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, see, that's all there. So there's nothing.
For the equalizer. An equalizer is global, so you can't really change anything.
Yeah, and here this is where you could put it below.
Yeah. See, I'm being polite. My default, my max volume is 75. Yeah.
But there's no reason, in my opinion, for that to be so buried in the app.
Yeah. But then you can, I guess from here you can change stuff too.
Yeah, but it's not about to change it because most people sort of change it once and then
you just leave it
be. Yeah. Yeah, like Sandeep says, they wouldn't even necessarily need to move it. They could just replicate it. That's fine too.
Yeah, fair enough. And they should have it collapsible.
Yeah. Or just have it under the sound settings. Who cares? I mean, that's still on the front page, right? So that's just one tap from the front page. But now it's like you need to go to the furthest extreme. And if you have a large phone, like an iPhone Max or whatever, like that is now becoming a two-handed thing to get to the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to go to product settings, and then you need to go to signal info. And it's like, why?
Yeah, that is a little cumbersome. I don't like that the old standby is basically the same as the old BeoVision standby. Then if you got it for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and it shuts it off. The stand stays where it's died, basically, or where it got turned off. It doesn't bark itself.
Hmm.
But then you can still go within the app and just press, let's say for the sake of saying kitchen here, I don't think it'll activate it. It has to be through the remote. No, it does. So if I go to the bed, then it turns all the way towards the, like basically the pillow area, right?
Wait, so the stand is more or less always awake?
Yeah.
Was
TV's
that
off.
was that ever like that before? No, right? Not really.
The only way that you could make this happen is if you had a BeoLink gateway, and it only worked on Avant and forward, or BeoVision 11 and forward on the BeoSystem 4 platform or chassis.
So you could.
That's where you could do that, because that's why I was able to just say, hey, GA, I'm going out for a cigar, and then the panel or the Avant would just basically move out of the balcony's door in
So
standby.
basically, you could make this operation just a widget in your iPhone, or like where
Yes.
you pull down and you just go having a cigar and the thing moves.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the stand, like this thing is always live, right? That's why I'm like, there's no way there's a freaking network problem, because this whole interface is now talking basically through Wi-Fi to it. It's not a Bluetooth connection where the remote is, and that's also instantaneous, because you can go to sound and sorry, not sound but speaker, and put it to kitchen, and it turns the TV.
Who would have thought that there was a day where the wireless on B&O would be better than on a major electronics provider?
Right? Like, look at this shit. It works perfectly. And if I go to sofa, but I'll do it off the remote, you can see click, and it immediately shows
Yeah.
up. Like, it's very, very responsive, man. Like, this thing is very well done. Very well done.
Yay! So the joke no longer applies.
No, it doesn't. They ruined us. They fucking ruined us, bro. And I'm glad.
For anybody
I'm very
that
glad.
doesn't know, the old joke was always, how could you tell when you have a counterfeit B&O speaker? It's because the Wi-Fi works.
That's right. But this is a very, very solid product. I'm very happy with it. And I think anybody that can afford it, buy it now, even without the TV, or fuck the 65-inch wings. You can get those later. Just get the
Yeah,
default
that's not where the
system for now.
majority of the incoming price
No, but they are
upgrades.
still expensive. They are still expensive to go. But I would just get it, even in the gray melange, whatever. Maybe Skinny Play at some point will do a cover for it, because that'd be nice if you could actually play about with that. But I think it's too flimsy, and that curve, I don't know how they would do it, but they're pretty good in figuring this shit out, so maybe one day they will. But yeah, like, it's amazing that the stand just works. You just press the button, and it goes, and the TV's turned off, man. So
I mean, they say in the manual that it's about 35 degrees or so. Do you feel you get that? Because, I mean, with the Eclipse, I always thought it was a bit conservative, as in they think... I
well,
think
no, like, look at this. If I go to kitchen or the table, which basically turns completely towards me, and then I go to bed, it will do the whole 70-degree move. So 35, because I have it maxed out. I purposely moved the TV away from the doors and windows and shit. Though I have to watch it, because if that window's fully open and I accidentally put it to table, the TV will touch the window. But yeah, this is the full rotation, basically coming to an end. So that's it doesn't look like it's 70 degrees, but it is 70 degrees, because the panel is just immense. But if you look at the stand, how much it travels significantly.
yeah.
And then I just straighten it out. I don't understand the microphone icon on the. Is that for the voice activation, or because I haven't ever really played with it as
No,
far as.
so when you room calibrate, the microphone you put in to the 3.5mm jack isn't the only microphone. There's two on the theater itself
Yes,
for room
yes.
calibration. So that's how you get the distance, because you have the triangle. So when you put the switch off, it means you can't accidentally override it with a new measurement.
Mm.
Let's
Yeah,
say,
but
I don't know,
then it
you
turns
have,
off the.
I don't know, tiny kids' hands around, and or like, hey, I need to come up and I need to do things, and
It's not even that's the risk. It's mostly that if you have a gathering of some sorts and people start dabbling in on the buttons, right?
that
Because
too, yeah. I mean, I
board
have
games
a
get
feeling
bored.
it was slightly made with the initial idea, like, let's put some Google Home stuff in there.
That's what I suspect very much because it makes no sense. But because that entire blade of icons and such, it's identical to the level as
Yeah.
far as the interface goes and it's concerned. It's completely the same as the level. So
I mean, this could very much be a Henrik intervention where they spoke to him at one point and like, what do you think about Google and everything? And he's like, no.
which he's right, because I don't know, like I think that would devalue the product because then you'd have to set up another Google account, right? You have to log into your Google Home in order to utilize the freaking line in and Bluetooth so you can actually pair a flipping remote to it.
Yeah, or they have to make two versions again, where you can get the non-GVA version and the GVA version, and
No,
people
I'm good
won't
with the.
know and then buy one and be annoyed. Also,
That's why I
you'll
don't
have
mess
something
with
as
the
powerful
levels.
as the theater shouting at you, "Your microphone is off."
Oh, can you imagine? Jesus Lord. Yeah, so yeah, it's a freaking awesome product. So buy it if you can, because you'll
um,
forget to regret it.
Also, there is a software update coming for the theater for 2.5 point something or other. And amongst the updates is Tidal Connect.
Hmm.
So, which is similar to Spotify Connect. So, you actually get the full fledged Tidal on your Mozart devices. Now, this is a part of the update for all Mozart devices.
Okay.
So every Mozart device will be Tidal Connect capable once this is fully rolled out.
There's my beta updates, but it doesn't show.
No, it's. I've seen several people say now that they're on beta who haven't gotten it, and then somebody, I think it was Billy on the Discord that got it in beta, but then somebody else that wasn't on beta that got it too.
Interesting, because it doesn't show here, but I know if I look at from the Product Health Center tool, I can tell. Because I actually forced it while I was at work. I pushed the update into it. So yeah, congrats, Gabriel. You're not gonna regret it. I'm gonna
Sweet.
shut this down. Actually, do not.
Uh,
Stop sharing. Poof.
oh.
And I'm gone. So yeah,
Uh,
also I think that the biggest lesson that I've learned so far, not just living with the theater, but also installing it for other people, you can't really rush the setup afterwards as far as the tuning is concerned and so on and so forth. Like you have to take your time, and even though the way that this tunes it's almost perfect, I think it does a very good job in the room compensation overall as a bubble term. But then you still have to adjust a little bit on as far as the levels go to your own liking, because sometimes the microphone hears differently than you do, right?
so Billy just posted this, and this may be part of the new software update. Is that you can, if I'm reading this right, it almost seems like your remote will act like a Harmony or Eclipse. Because this theater is the first one where you press TV, and if you do nothing, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
With the Harmony and the Eclipse, if you press TV, it would be your main source would always start up. If you didn't, like if you went TV and then left it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would start up. But here, your screen just goes off after a while because you have to press the OK button. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see sources from standby shown in TV
No, but
list.
he's on the 2.5 point whatever.
How did you get that? But I can't get it now.
I don't have it yet either.
Yeah, but it's not even. It doesn't even exist on the product health, like as a service. Maybe it just came out. I don't know. Look now.
Several people have said that they've had it, so
What's my serial number again here?
I think Anders got it on his 28.
I'm on 2.3.4.15133.
Yeah, but anyway, so these are the updates. Support for Tidal Connect, Apple AirPlay update, Spotify Connect update, which are just, I don't know, improvements. Stereo pairing improvements. We have one member on the Discord that had the worst time with stereo pairing two balances. He got this 2.5.3 and he says it's perfect now. It's flawless, basically.
News to me. I haven't even heard of that version yet.
Yeah, improved home assistant support and bug fixes and stability. You need to leave that in there.
Very nice. I'm very much looking forward to it.
And it's the same for the level. This is basically for all Mozart devices.
Nice. If somebody wants a level, I got a good price for you. I got silver here, sitting brand new in box, in shipping box, wrapped, ready to go.
GVA or non-GVA?
GVA. GVA. Yeah, that's it. It's the Google one.
Also, by the way, people, if I forgot to say this earlier, but if you haven't become a member yet of our Discord, which is totally free, come join our Discord, which is just our chat server for this, that, and the other, and be the first to know just about anything.
Or nothing. Depends on it.
Yeah, well, this is where you can where you can hear people figure this sort of stuff out on the fly, because doesn't seem to tell us much of anything.
No.
I mean, it's also I'm actually impressed it actually says something in the release updates of the software, because half the time it's just bug fixes and improvements. It's like, what does that mean? And as soon as somebody talks to their dealer, you get an answer, and then it saves 20 people like asking their dealer what it actually means.
Does anybody have a Chromecast enabled on their theater? Because I haven't gone that far.
No.
And I wonder if that'll enable the microphone.
Why would it?
So you can yell shit at it, right?
But Chromecast doesn't make it GVA, does it?
I don't know. Learn how to cast. Okay, yeah, I don't think it does. But then I think if you yell at something else, it'll be controlled by this. No, that's too dangerous. That's freaking lava, baby. I'm not doing that. It's by serial number batch, Sandeep says. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think I'm one of the earlier serial numbers. Am I? Oh, my software is 0.0.0.
Oh, right on.
Sweet. Okay, that can't be right. Surely there's some software on there.
You got none?
It literally says when you go to the About section, software version 0.0.0.
You got no software.
No, I'm on 2.3.4 still as well.
Yeah, same here.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get to it. I mean, they always roll it out slowly. I doubt they do everybody at once. It's generally because of server draw.
Yeah, but I think it's playing it safe is better, because then you don't just blanket screw everybody. You know? You contain the spillage.
And also, I feel generally by smaller market to larger or market specific issues. So let's say, I don't know, the UK has something where BBC Radio no longer works because BBC Radio pulled everything. That thing that we had, was it a year ago or something? So that they only make changes for a locality that's not really important to the rest of the world.
Weird.
So the 2.5.3 is for everything, but everything Mozart related.
Yes. So, how's that skateboard treating you, Anders?
Yes.
Or is it a more or less like a hanging on the wall deal? You never ride that again. It's limited edition one, I think.
Yeah, we both actually are now on this private post office because he had to order one of these Lunar New Year A1s, and it's coming my way, and then I have to send it to him because apparently you couldn't buy it in Sweden.
That's so funny. Well, that's just a good example of being resourceful always pays off.
Yeah, one thing that was kind of on Discord, a few people were saying that they couldn't buy anything, and maybe it was they were in a Scandinavian country, and somehow Scandinavian countries are blocked. But I can order this online here.
Yeah, we could order that. I think we got some of that stock coming in. I'm just not interested in it at all.
I mean, I sort of like the color palette, but like Chinese New Year, in essence, I mean, it has no cultural. Yeah, it has no cultural reference to me.
No.
So, but I do like it that they sort of change it up.
But it's a huge market, so why not cater to it? You know what I mean? Like there's still a ton of it over there. That's not really meant for Europe, but they just put it here out of pity, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't order it.
Well, there's a lot of Chinese people here, and probably also there.
Yeah, of course. Sure, Vancouver will sell a lot of this.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it basically that there's so much foreign investment in real estate that they've now blocked foreigners from buying real estate there?
Well, they kind of screwed everybody over because they didn't just block the foreigners, but if you don't have a permanent residency in, like, let's say British Columbia, you're paying the speculation tax is what it's called.
Oh.
But I have a few friends that have second homes in there, right? They just go for summer and blah, blah, blah. It's on the fucking lake. The house has been there for at least 10 years. He's owned it for 10 years that I know, and the house stood there before because it won a whole bunch of like design awards. It's a beautiful home. And he's now fucked because he can't renovate it because it's going to cost him double of what it normally was because of the speculation tax. Because they assume the fact that as soon as you renovate, you're going to sell it. I'm like, no, like that's not what I just want to update my house. So do you do it fucking at night illegally then? Like, how do you do it?
No, you call it repairs. I'm not renovating, I'm repairing it.
Yeah, the whole house torn out. What happened? I just repaired.
I had a leak.
I had a leak and I'm repairing new wires. So,
I mean, I had a leak in my ceiling. All the drywall has to come out. All the TVs are gone. It's all short-circuited. I'm repairing it.
Well, I've been to a place that did get struck by lightning. Good old Masterlink system. They had a passive kit that was connected to the campfire speakers, like fire pit. So the lightning hit at the link eye and basically went down because everything was by the same conduit. So it went down all the way to the master system, and boom, it blew Beosystem for 4 passive kits, 3 active kits. What else did he have? A Beomaster 5. Everything just died. But the worst part was that it melted the cables inside the conduit, so he never had speakers to his fireplace again. So that feels bad. Big insurance claim for sure.
By the way, Steve, since you're here, I think you should write B&O that since we're doing this sort of thing for the Chinese New Year, that B&O should make a Molten Mowbray edition of the A1
What is that?
pork pie.
What colors would that be?
Not that far off this, actually. It's kind of like the top.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what is it, like a delicacy of some sorts or like a pastry?
Uh,
A pork pie A1 and brown. Oh my lord. Now that's just gone to the gutter.
well, a pork pie is almost exactly what it sounds like. It's a pie with pork in it, and it's sort of a farmer's breakfast brunchy type of deal because
That's like a glorified burger, bro. That's not a pie, man. Like to me, I grown up on a pie, but pie sweet. That ain't sweet. That is just a meat sandwich made look
oh,
like
it's
a
a meat
Christmas.
pie. It's delicious. I love them. But put a print on the on an A1 on top like this. I'll buy one.
Oh
And
god.
don't forget about the jelly. Because modern pork pies, they're skimping on the jelly.
Of course they do. It's just a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't eat that. But we don't have
Yeah.
those in Canada. Canada pie is different, bro. Like that's completely different.
Yeah. Filled
Different
with
savage.
poutine
Uh,
and
I haven't
mousse.
had poutine. I think I should do that since I live in Montreal. I should at least have it once. But I don't know about the like just fries, cheese curds, and that brown sauce. Yeah,
Yeah, HP sauce. Delicious.
it's not HP sauce, bro.
Weirdly, Brits, actually, your HP brown sauce is made in this country.
Hmm.
I mean, that was quite interesting when I found that out because you couldn't get it here. So whenever I went to England, I always had to stock up for the year or whatever, however long it was going to take before I came back again.
Yeah, I regret that I didn't bring some stuff here too because you can't get it here. Stupid.
But and then to find out, yeah, it's made here, but you can't buy it here.
Why not? That's so weird.
Well, you can now, but it's only been a thing for like the last 3 years or something. Like my entire life, you couldn't buy the stuff here, but it was always made here.
Like they wouldn't even have a little shop in the factory to sell to people. Weird.
Speaking of the earlier joke with the Wi-Fi not working, I was fussing around on B&O's website, and I found this list about how to avoid counterfeiters. And I was wondering what we would think about this list that they put together. So, how to avoid counterfeiters. As a global luxury audio brand, Bang & Olufsen is increasingly a target of counterfeiters around the world. Copying a Bang & Olufsen product is stealing the craftsmanship of the company and infringing the work of our designers. Totally agree, but a lot of it is made in China, and the Chinese will steal just about any design.
They have no remorse on that.
Well, they don't really do IP protection in China anyway.
No, they don't care. They'll reverse engineer everything.
Yeah. In Bang & Olufsen, we spent a century of refining our capabilities within sound design and craftsmanship. You will never experience the same quality in a counterfeit product. Okay. Furthermore, fake products rarely comply with health and safety requirements, which especially relates to security of batteries, chargers, or other electronics inside of the counterfeit. That is actually a good point, and you should probably highlight this in bold.
I agree, because that's why it's counterfeit, because they use shit boards and shit parts.
Well, especially the battery situation, right?
And
that's quite flammable.
No, that's a serious problem. That'll burn down your car if you have something left in the car.
Or your house if it's in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, was it Samsung? I think so. But their older phones, the batteries have started swelling. And by this, we're talking about Galaxy S6, 7, that sort of thing.
Oh.
To the point where like collectors and whatnot, they leave them in a drawer because it's like every phone I've ever had, right? And they're now popping up, and some have apparently exploded and caught fire.
Fuck.
So batteries in general, especially the lithium-ion ones, are quite dangerous if not handled correctly. So Bang & Olufsen distributes its products via authorized resellers only. By purchasing from authorized resellers from Bang & Olufsen website, you can avoid disappointment of buying counterfeit products. It's like, okay. I mean, this is mostly whatever so far, but like highlight the batteries. Counterfeiters are often very good at imitating the immediate looks of the product. It may therefore be difficult to detect a counterfeit product from genuine Bang & Olufsen product. Counterfeit issues are mainly centered on our headphone, earphone, and portable speakers. Very true. The following would be strong indications that a product is a counterfeit. No connectivity to the Bang & Olufsen app. Well, you're a bit late at that point because you already bought it. Low price. Typically, counterfeit products are available at lower prices than genuine products, but the prices are not always at the level which would cause buyers to suspect the products are counterfeit. This is so meaningless since they sell on Amazon now. Because like the portals were going even at B&O dealers for like €200. And if you then go to the official price on the website at 500, you go, is that counterfeit? But they're the real deal. Because they were just, they just wanted to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Labels are often misplaced in frame and might be with folds. It's like, but if you don't have the real thing next to it, you would never know.
No.
Poor quality packaging. Sure. Protection foil, irregular shrink foil, joints with hologram effect. I don't think they use foil for anything anymore, do they? Other than on the total outside of things, on the outside of the box.
Oh, yeah.
But inside the box, it's all that softish paper stuff now.
It's either that white, almost like a cloth fabric type of thing, but it's paper, I believe. Or it's like the levels they're sealed in a poly, and it says Bang & Olufsen, whatever on it. They're hermetically sealed.
Yeah.
Poor sound quality. No shit.
Sorry, Steve. Beosound Explorer, Emerge.
Shut up, man. I have an Emerge. It's great in the bathroom. You have no idea.
I do have an idea. I had one here.
It sounds great. You're just deaf, bro.
No, the M3 was better for the third of the price.
M3?
Yeah.
I have mine in the storage. I never pulled it out. I should have, but.
I mean, for a third of the price? That may be me. Mediocre craftsmanship. It's like, are any of these people or products like headphones and stuff actually made with craftsmanship?
I love the last one.
The chemical smell.
Oh god! You just get high off huffing it.
I mean, this is on the main page, and I'm just thinking like there is some very obvious things missing here. Like type in the product name that you find on whatever website, right? Because
it's not going to be the theater. There's no way.
No, but recently somebody was asking me about, he saw something online and it was a Bang & Olufsen AP1.
What is that?
Yeah, nothing. It's fake. But if you type in Bang & Olufsen AP1, you know you're never getting to a Bang & Olufsen website.
No, that's a wish.com nonsense you buying.
Yeah. So that's one of the obvious ways to spot counterfeits. If the what was it? Some I saw recently else, which was super Chinese. It was the Beosound.
Super Chinese. What? The
It,
teriyaki
it,
sauce was oozing out of it?
no, that's Japan, by the way. But
Oh, there you go. Japan.
but it was a what was it? It was a BeoPlay X11.
Oh, wow.
But again, if you type this into Google, you're never going to get to a website with a link to anything from Bang& Olufsen.
Also, how people spell it, too, is another thing. Then in Olufsen and,
Yeah,
you know.
so I mean, this is somewhat basic, but like add some other basic steps, like literally Google how it's written, Google the spelling,
Yeah.
Google if the part actually exists. Because I understand, right, like where you have the fake H9s or whatever, because we've seen some bad ones over the years. But also, if you have a new H9, if you type in H9 now, like you see that thing was launched how long ago? 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Like they don't sell that anymore.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever seen fake was one guy that this is, oh my God, 12 years ago now. He brought in a set of A8s, which are the original over-the-ear earphones that B&O made. Some of you may remember them as ear sets and stuff. Uh, and I looked at it like it was, at least they spelt it right. But the laser print was small and it wasn't laser, it was just ink, right? Like it was so fake that it just feels bad. And he's like, yeah, I bought those for $100. I'm like, well, you just threw away $100, man. So
I mean, they give you some reasons why you shouldn't buy counterfeit. Well, it's dangerous. You're giving money to bad people that make bad shit. When was this? This was like 6 months ago. We had the Bang Double G and Olufsen 5.1 surround system with the
yeah.
and it was 1250 watt Bose looking stuff or whatever it was. Like if you Google that, if you just Google that, like you know you're not gonna get anything remotely close to.
No, there's not happening.
But like if we're going to be this basic, surely that should be at the top, right? Like not it doesn't connect to the B&O app. Like just Google if it actually exists. Google if we actually make it.
Or how about just not buy fake shit and stop being cheap about it? Because every time you buy fake, it's just you end up buying nonsense and bag of regret or a packaging of regret.
Yeah, but the sort of some of the Wish.com nonsense may still get onto Amazon, and Amazon is sort of an official retailer.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you put in, I don't know, can we do it right now? See if we find anything fake.
Amy's on.
Amazon, Bang Olufsen.
Yeah, I'm quite curious to what you'll be able to pull up, if anything.
No. I mean, but one thing that stands out here is the E8 2.0. Like, that is really old by now.
Somebody still has a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, probably. I mean, most stuff so far is... imagine buying an Edge through Amazon. But so far, this looks on Amazon looks mostly real. Well, I guess you have a TXE sign stand for your A1. That's a weird little add-on I've never seen before.
It's like, where was STB for that? Gavin, you need to get on this. Oh, God. $23.
Yeah.
It probably just flies around with that bass driver when it's pumping. I swear to you. There's no way it'll hold on.
Probably not. No, so far Amazon is actually it cleaned up shop quite a little bit.
Go up, go up. There was A8s in there. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, you get the freaking cozy for the Explorer. BeoPlay. Oh, click on those. I want to see if they have the microphone. Buy those.
It doesn't say.
Man, also earphones black. They look like just old A8s.
Yeah,
Those were the best headphones I've ever owned back in the yesteryears. Can't believe that's like they came out in 2001. They're 22-year-old design.
I
I
mean,
still have a few boxes of them in my storage.
but that's when you have a classic that's made with utmost care and good materials. It never really ages.
No.
Yeah, no. It seems like Amazon mostly cleaned up. There's not a bunch of nonsense anymore. So actually, Amazon, well done.
Doctor says the Harmony you can activate the wide and narrow mode of the 50s with the remote one. Theater does that too. Yes, it does. But thanks, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, I set up his stuff yesterday. We were both like fucking goosebumps, man. It was such I've whole new respect for the 18. Sorry to digress a bit, but whole new respect for the Beolab 18s with the theater as far as the sound is concerned. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So, but yeah, you set this up in listening presets where you actually tell the uh, in the listening presets you tell the speaker if you want to narrow wide or omni if you have 90s, and or if there's different tuning positions that you have your speakers tuned in for. Let's say you're like I would have kitchen, probably bed and a sofa, and then you can assign those to whatever listening position you make. But what's the limitation on listening positions? Because I wasn't able to find the number, but is it at least 25 or 20, something like that?
I don't know. I have 12 now.
Because I only have 4, which it doesn't make any difference or sense to make more. But once I'm in Florida, I get the 90 set up. It's gonna be some preset city, bro.
Yeah. No, I have 12 now, and I can think of several more to make if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I haven't run into the maximum yet.
I think there's wall brackets in the shop for the BeoLab 4s. I'm gonna buy them. I'm looking to put them in here, but I'm not doing that. But I'm definitely gonna install the 4s as high channels when I get this shit set up proper.
But what other obvious things are to look out for with fakes?
I don't know. Like I don't come across fake stuff, and I guess people know better not to buy this kind of shit.
Well, I mean, I like what they say. I'm a big proponent of support your local dealer, which more and more B&O seems to not be a proponent of because they'd rather you buy it through the website.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's a bit strange. So when I'm actually looking at things, yeah, I still say go to your local dealer.
Yeah.
But also, like, if they want to adhere or add something to this list, like, actually put in, like, just Google if it actually exists.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't come across. I haven't come across the fake stuff in, like I said, in years and years and years. The only thing that I've seen fake was the fake A8s back 20 years ago. Or I guess 11, 12 years ago. Because I just started working in the shop and some dude came in with them. Like, can I get a warranty on those? I'm like, no, you can throw these in the garbage and here's another one. Here's another set for $250. So anyone see my note about the app? I haven't seen it. Scrolled by, it's gone.
Wait, does anybody else have an issue with the app when you go to product setting, be a remote one, remote list? If you click done rather than going to the main screen, it just goes back to the remote list.
No, mine goes, I think, back all the way to flipping
to the main
home menu. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Be a product setting. Be a remote one. So do you mean from this? Do you mean from this screen? And then you press the X up top, or what is it? Done at the bottom.
No, mine goes back normally here on the blue stacks,
If
which
yeah,
usually
and then
works
I'm
for us.
back at the.
It goes back to
It just goes all the way back,
yeah.
which is also really annoying because it's
Yeah,
the
it is,
only
especially when you're
menu
setting
where
this
it
up.
does that.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
um, so there, click on the remote now. Be a remote list.
Let's see this.
Done. Oh yeah, I'm back in. I'm back in here now. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
be a
weird.
remote.
So if you go be a remote, right, like that, and you go to be
Yeah,
a remote list,
yeah,
and then you press, where is it, back, uh,
and done.
done, and you're back there.
I'm not. It's your shitty iPhones, you losers.
No, that's a
Android all
bug.
the way. No, it's not. It works for me. For me, it went right back to the product settings
And
where
then
it's
it's, are
supposed
you
to
sure
go.
you want to cancel? Yes, go away. Oh, weird. That's a strange bug. That's an oddly specific turn of events as well for that to happen.
Yeah, but for me, it works. I can't replicate what you guys are doing. Go be a remote one, remote list, right?
Yeah.
And then what? Go back out of it.
You click on list, and then you go back out of it,
Okay.
and then you press done.
And it goes to product settings
Yeah,
for
so
me.
I got back, and then I go press done, and I'm back in the list.
Oh, weird. No, it doesn't do that for me. I think it's only Apple.
That's okay, strange.
It's an interesting problem.
I mean, you can still get out of it, so I guess it's not too bad, but it is weird.
Yeah, but that doesn't work on my phone like that. My on the Android platform, I guess it works no problem. So I've never seen that. I also noticed that sometimes it's easier for me to take control of the account as an installer than working on their device.
Hmm.
And it's a sick feature because sometimes you do the setup and the client just gets bombarded by messages or whatever because he's in the middle of some sort of a discussion, right? And all this shit scrolling through and it's annoying, right? So
Yeah.
it's just you can do it long enough to go to the support, give access control, and I take access control, plug in that number, and you can actually see what you're doing in real time on his phone if he's got the app opened. But then usually, they do their thing with the phone, and I set it all up, and then they don't have to do anything. I just give up the control, and it goes back to my account, which it's pretty slick finally, and it works very well. It works very well. So that's a perfect way to set up the theater because 90% of the time there's not a freaking iPad that is unlocked or I need their face, right, and they're gone or they're on the phone and you don't want to interrupt, and it's a freaking headache.
I must say, though, this is one of the annoyances I've had now as well. Speaking of exactly that, because it's on your phone, when you're doing in settings and things, right? And if you get a
Hmm.
message, since half of the controls for the app are up top, like you tap on the message, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm out the app now, and now I'm WhatsApp again.
I don't have that much problem with that.
No, well, it depends on the day and how many messages you get, or if
Hmm.
I but if you're generally quite busy and or like, hey, you have a new important email, it's like, oh, I guess I left the B&O app. Now I'm now doing emails.
For me, the only thing that I don't like is that little speech bubble that comes up over top of the back button.
Yeah.
Either make it shorter in a like it's narrower per se, so it doesn't block the back button because you can still click the back button, but clients don't know, and then you just sit there and you wait till the thing scrolls up, right? So either don't block the back button and just make it go between the back and the standby button only, or have a timeout half the quickest or half as fast. or half faster than it is now. Keep it there for half the time it is now. There we go. That's what I meant to say. For the love
Yeah.
of God. Running out of English words.
Uh,
So
yeah.
so that's it as far as my criticism is concerned. I played around with my presets as well here, and I find that the microphone tuning doesn't it doesn't give enough juice to the back. Like I had to crank up the rears a little bit by like 2 dBs, which is not a lot, but quite a bit from how far I sit.
But is that a preference, or is that like this is, I guess, another small gripe is that you can't play test tones anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's a very good point, and would have forgotten to bring it up. But I missed white or pink noise or whatever you want to call it. Like there should be a test tone that you can do a manual override, and you know what? Even do it with the microphone that BNO has. So let that thing be plugged in, right,
Mm-hmm.
and just match the dB levels on the app.
Yeah, so I mean, what I wanted to say is like, is it preference or is it actually in line, but you like it a bit more when it's a bit hotter?
I think I like it more hot. So but yeah, white noise I think is it's a missing feature in there. I understand that you guys are 100% relying on the fact that the microphone and the swooping noise will do everything, but I think that I would still like that control aspect of the sound and how to modify it, because there's no other way to do the white noise other than injecting it through an AirPlay from an app of some sorts, like, or play a YouTube video if it's got a white noise.
Yeah, but YouTube only does stereo.
Right? So
So weirdly, you need some Dolby sound generators that is at least 7.1.
see, so it's not just me. Sandeep also he jacked up his envelopment and settings and good more out of his whatever 17. So that's I think that they just toned it down a little bit too much.
I mean, I'm very satisfied with my 17s in the back. As in, like, I don't think I need to add more to them. But it,
By of the default of the tuning.
yes.
Okay,
And I have a feeling it's maybe because,
you get fucking 18s on the side straddling and a couple on the
no,
ceilings
because
that
they're
you
further
forget to mention.
away. Because I actually have a feeling
Fair
like
point too.
my 18s are a bit tepid. And I have a feeling that they may be a bit close to the mic when I put the mic like in the couch position there,
Mm,
which is
interesting.
odd to say. But I mean, if there was an option for that white noise, that would definitely help tuning those front left and front right speakers into the center. Because now
Yes.
it's just, I'm just guessing. Because I have no clue how loud it is, other than what my hearing tells me.
Hmm.
And like what Sandeep says, the play sound, the bloom bloom or whatever it is, it's like, this is a bullshit sound. It's not useful.
No. Oh, the little string strumming,
Yeah.
like, dum, dum. And it's so quiet too. Like, come on, man. Like, at least make it louder.
I
Because, like,
mean,
if you have music playing and you try to identify speakers, you can't.
no.
You have to have stopped everything. So,
Because, yeah, I mean, because at least you can sit then with a dB meter or something, see if it's level to everything else.
yeah. Because the microphones in the apps are pretty accurate and spot on now within the phones themselves. So, if this thing can cancel freaking noise in the bar where I'm talking to somebody to a point where I can be audible, I'm sure they can pick out freaking pink noise or whatnot. So, uh,
Yes, you
what is
can
it?
turn off room compensation.
Why would
I,
you do that?
yeah, well, just A/B test, I guess, but
Just to throw up in your mouth a little? Because I've done that here. I'm like, wow, that sounds dry as bone. And then you turn on the compensation, like, wow, holy cow, there's a lot of processing in there to make it awesome. It's fucking awesome, all right.
yeah, if nothing else, the phase alignment of everything. It won't necessarily be instantly obvious if you have a fairly dead room, but if you have an echoey room.
Max, I'm very impressed by the man of your age to come up with this comment.
No, that's other Max. Max H you were talking about. This is other
Oh,
Max.
okay, never mind then, because that's yeah.
This is Max here with the blue bubble. He's the best mod on the on the Discord.
That's funny. Yeah, you could download a custom file. I think there's got to be something that you could download to in order to tune it or something. For me, I would probably just put in a line output.
Yeah, but it's such a pain. It was built into everything before now.
I know.
And like
it's not
what
that
we're
hard. Like,
talking about, like
yeah,
that's
it's not like a fuck. It's not even like a full MP3 of music, right? Like it says, what is it? A few kilobytes for that noise
it's a
to just be
perpetual
looped?
loop of 1 second.
Yeah. So.
Also under sound settings, max volume says 100, but the LGG2 max volume is 90, just like the Eclipse. Yes, but it's 100% of 90.
Yes.
So just because one says 100 and one says 90 doesn't necessarily correlate 1-to-1.
Yeah, you got no shit to stand on there, bro. The 90 has been around as a top volume for a long time with B&O. Actually, they changed the last product that I know that had different volume were Beosound 1 and Beosound 9000. They went up to 72 only. And the difference was they did it in even numbers. So there was never a 3 or a 5 or a 7. It was always
yeah,
like 2, 4,
BV11
6,
or
8.
BV10 was also in increments of 2.
Yes. Yeah.
And but I think Jeff has a list somewhere of things that changed volume scale. Because it wasn't always 72 either, and 90 wasn't always it either. There's some things that went to 100. But then also...
I don't think it was Biosystem 3 anymore. I think Biosystem 3 went to... Oh, maybe it went to 100. Shit, I don't remember.
I'm thinking now, I never dared with my BV10, but it could have been to 100 because that was way too bloody loud.
But I know that the curve is different, that it goes whack, right? Like from, let's say, the 70 to 90, you're doing some serious volume increments where, especially like, you know, with the 90s, to go to 90, that's some serious gas pedal move.
Yeah, the volume stepping isn't linear. It doesn't, not that it doesn't seem it isn't. Like,
yes.
0 to 20, every tick is like 0.6 dB or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're over, I think 60, every click is like 2 dB. And then once over 70, it's 3 dB or something like that.
And yeah, like max is between 80 and 90. Yeah, then it goes to ludicrous mode, and it's just like, fucking want to blow your ears off, bitch. Let's do it.
Yeah, Beolab 50 at 80 is around 90 dB, which is ridiculously loud. But if you go from 80 to 90, it's like 110, 115. Which
yeah,
perceptually is like 3.5, 4x louder.
Yeah, it's a crazy.
So you go from like everything is shaking to everything is breaking.
Yeah,
and the speakers just are like, oh, okay. Let's
do this.
Chug
let's
along.
See how long we can handle this for, because we can go for a while. And they don't. Oh yeah, it's like I've even like remember like when I did drive the shit out of the 90s. It was not more than for 2 songs, because you can't deal with this much level on your coming onto you. Like it's so much music, and it's such good quality. There is no distortion of any kind. It's a very interesting experience, but it's also a very short-lived experience in a way that how your ears and brain and fucking lungs can handle it, because like you just feel that music everywhere.
Yeah, loud is nice, but I feel personally the older people get, the less interested they are in extremely loud.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore as much.
Because back in the day, that was the thing that you were interested in, because that was where like my system is louder than yours, and now it's just my
Now
system
it's
is
about
better than
refinement.
yeah.
Now it's about the refinement of the sound. And also, like with B&O, that's not just the refinement of sound; it's also the sex appeal and the whole design story behind every product and what it looks like to an eye of beholder, right? Some people don't like the 18s because I look weird, and like myself and most of the others love it, right? It's just it's really like I've had women come to the shop back in the yesteryears of lap fives and like they get pissed off at the speaker. I'm like, well, you man, that looks so weird. I'm like, but your husband wants them anyway, so
Well, I must say that it's still incredible the new lease of life the 18s have gotten with the theater.
I honestly yesterday when I was at Stefan's and we tuned them properly,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because like shit, I didn't realize when you move the speakers around because you put them in his places where he wanted them, right? And then the tuning is out to like completely out to lunch,
Yeah.
so it's all sounded delayed and shit. And like no, we got to start from scratch. So I deleted all the listening presets and we did you know five five different ones I believe, yeah. And like in quadraphonic, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just on their own, like no theater involved at all. They sound unbelievably clean. Never heard so much bass out of them. Like, it
Yeah,
was so funny
this
because
is
he went up to the theater and like double checked, like, is there freaking bass coming on? No, it's not, man. It's just the 18s, believe it or not.
I've had my 18 since they launched basically, and I've never heard them to be this bassy until at
Right?
the theater.
And I don't understand where that is. Like, is it like because you have in a core you could preset, the listening filter to the 18s because you can tell what the PowerLink speakers are connected to it, right? But they never sounded this good. They never sounded this good on anything.
I think it's the part of the phases being aligned
I think so too.
because I mean you're actually measuring them now where they are in physical space and how they sound one to the other. uh, and also the preset is more sophisticated in the theater where it doesn't pull anything back until it knows it can't do it,
Yes.
which is quite different.
Oh, it's very different, and it's very audible in performance. How much better it is. Like I don't know, I haven't heard the 18s the way that I've heard them, but also had the 90s in the front. But I had them cranked up, but they still, man, they are unbelievably different.
Yeah. Uh, I do think B&O should make some more speakers though. Because however nice the 18s are now with the theater,
They're starting to get out of reach of some people's wallets,
yeah, when the
and it's
base
not even
price is eight
it's
and a
not
half
even that.
grand.
But it's not even that. But what if you can't afford uh 18s in a home decor way? Where money is no object, but it's like I can't put these speakers in our fucking shelves everywhere. I need something that fits within, a shelf or within a cabinet, like on top of a cabinetry of some sorts. So I don't know, like I think there's a need and a market for it. Like I don't think that you guys can just rely on the fact that you can pair a pair of balances together and that's it, because you can't really do anything with them when you compare to like the theater and stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're they're not big spatially, but they are quite long.
Hmm.
And half of that is aesthetics because they don't need to be that long. I mean, most of it
So
is just space. So I would say personally, BioLab 3 is a place where B&O fans want to see B&O go, but I don't think it's feasible in terms of where the sound is because however much I like even the BioLab 3s, they are sloppy.
of course, well, the bass drivers or one bass driver, but the passive radiators definitely give up the slop.
Yeah.
It's the same as the Lab 2, right? They perfect match together because they're both, it's just like a.
I
Have you
mean,
ever seen a bulldog finish eating a jar of mayonnaise? That's basically the sound that comes out of the Lab 2 and the Lab 3s.
and I wouldn't even say like it needs to be whole lot cheaper than 18s, but like just the entry level speak.
5K.
Yeah, the entry level speaker for a theater beginner at where this is more than the theater that you're most likely going to put behind you. That's steep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the longest time, 17s sort of picked up that slack, except nobody bought them. And I suspect, again, it was half-assed marketing, because when did you ever see them?
Other than the shop, yeah, they were very undersold, and I don't know if people didn't like them because they looked like pillows or whatever else have you, but they're a very good sounding speaker. It's a shame.
I mean, the beauty of the Beolab 3, though, was a bit more omnidirectional, which is what you can get away with better for rear speakers than for fronts, in my opinion. So, I mean, because otherwise we're at Beolab 28s, which is even more money. And I don't think it's actually too much money for either. It's just that the Beolab 18s are going on a bit, and in the realm of what they have now in the speaker lineup, they are the dumbest speaker. I mean, they'll give you the least amount of issues because they are dumb. They just work.
Yeah, they work very well.
But there needs to be something smarter, and it's just a heck of a lot of, because I worry with these rising prices, and then that they had that Q2 thing where they said they want to double the was it the effective sales price of the, or in other words, the amount of money the average consumer spends walking out the door. They want to double that in the next few years. So it's like, to me, you can only do that if you have something of interest to sell. And
well, theater definitely is, and I'm seeing that thing go up in price over time.
Oh, I do too. But I kind of worry that if they are sort of gonna manage that by just not having smaller products, that you're not going to have a new batch of people that are into it like we are.
My prediction for theater within 3 years is going to be 50% more on top of the cost. Like, it's going to go from 10 to 15. I guarantee you that, if not more. It's fucking worth it, though. Honestly, like, it's to me, this is worth it any price at this point.
Oh, I would agree. Yes.
In comparison, if you look at it, like, this essentially was cheaper than a sound center for the Eclipse.
Yes. But I mean, the difference in capabilities is quite stark, though. Like the theater is even compared to 18s, right? Because 18s are what, a grand and a half more, if not a bit more than that, nearly two, than the theater. And the theater does more bass, it does more everything, and it's more useful. Because if you just buy 18s, you still need a core or something, or a theater.
Yeah, but this is the funny thing, that at this point you already have the goddamn 18s.
Yeah, I get it, but
right, and you just go, oh shit, I'm doing this theater thing with my 18s.
But surely it's better to sell something that is attainable and slightly cheaper than that you basically relegate a whole bunch of people that would buy a theater to the secondhand market for other speakers.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd rather sell them new stuff, surely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the second-hand market for 18s here is quite hot at the moment because they are so expensive now.
That, and also they sound fabulous, especially, like I said, with the theater, man. It's mind-blowing. I cannot wait to hook up the goddamn 90s to my theater. That's going to be just a life-changing experience. I'm going to take fucking 2 weeks, sick days out and just listen to the speakers at home. I have to rent a house now. There's no way I can get away with apartment living. Like, there is no way. Because if I start putting hammers down, bro, it's gonna be, people have guns there.
I mean,
So
so the cheapest on the second-hand market is €3,800 for a Beolab 18. And if you want it with a, like 6-month warranty, you're at least looking at $4,000, and these can be anywhere from 5 to 10 years old by now.
yeah,
I mean, that's a red hot market for secondhand speakers that have been around for close to a decade.
it's been a decade for sure. They
Yeah.
came out in 2012.
I mean, my 18s are still pristine. I'm pretty sure if I were to sell them now, I could get around 4.5 for them.
Hmm.
So, which is silly because that's more or less what they were new.
I can sell them here for more than I paid for them for sure. Because with the walnut lamellas are on their own. I think $2,500 or some stuff. Like it's insane.
Uh, let's see what were they new. Uh, Beolab 18.
Yeah, I think the silver.
They were
Even
they were just under £4,000 new 18s. So 10 years
shit,
in, you can sell them for the price you bought them for. That's crazy.
right? There is no product on this market that you could do that with. Like,
Well, you can't even do that with 50s.
no.
I mean, or 90s for that matter. I mean, 90s have aged well in the secondhand market, but like when they're 10 years old, which is 2 years from now, if you say this thing is 10 years old, you're not going to be like, well, that's 60 grand. I mean, you can try,
Yeah,
but you're not gonna get it.
I sent you a picture, but I think I should just email you it instead.
Might be easier.
Yeah.
I mean, like Max, it is just a statement of a true timeless speaker, but it's also it's still up to date enough. But it has that price creep, and I get it to a point because like aluminium now is so much more expensive to make, and probably the same
Yes.
for the wood, and but it is a bit. That yeah, there's something missing in that lineup, which is. I mean, I bet you if you sent whatever they make, if it is around $5,000 to Andrew Robinson, and you go through his comments after he were to review that a lot of people would go, "You call that attainable?"
Yeah.
I mean, in the B&O world, yes. In the general audiophile market, you buy a 7.2.4 system for that from Clips or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
but then you're buying it again in a few years.
yeah, so I mean, I understand, but it's like you need to have something there because otherwise, these people will never even dare to make the switch.
Yeah.
Has the walnut arrived yet?
No.
Merde.
No, and from what I understand, he didn't even order. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, we've talked about this, and like, because there's 3 people that want walnut, right? We need to bring at least one in so we can see what it is. But yeah, this is sexy, and this is where I was telling
And so is
Stefan,
your
like,
room, Stefan.
yeah, I'm like, you can't fucking go with anthracite. Go with the silver theater. It's gonna look the best.
It looks,
'Cause he was,
I think,
it,
the best, yes.
yeah, he was considering the anthracite, to I guess give the continuity with the middle section, right? But I I think that the aluminium perfectly just disappears it. It's the only thing that's notable really is the front lamella, and then the top kind of ties it in with the TV, so it just looks hot.
I like this a lot. And it
It's a
looks good.
beautiful setup.
It looks good with the 18s too.
That's right. No, it looks sick, and it sounds even better than you think, man. It really is it's sounding absolutely outstanding.
It very much looks at home as well with all these plants around.
Right? Like it looks very organic. It looks very it looks like it belongs there, right? And that's the beauty of the 18s as well, that you can, you know. And I love that he's just as big of a sucker for Herman Miller's furniture as so of that Herman Miller stuff. Really, it just ties in very well with the BNO, especially because they use a lot of aluminium as well for their legs
It's not
and so
cheap.
on and so forth, and it's not cheap,
No, it was actually interesting. Somewhere last week there was a whole discussion, or at least a few statements of like
Grab another beer.
actually being on the Discord, like actually B&O is cheap because, and I quote, this guy said, "I was looking at the lamp, and the lamp I like is $3,000."
Right?
So the theater that does a lot more is actually not that expensive. Like,
No, it
well,
isn't.
I guess if you look at it that way, yeah.
Well, like if you look at the couches, like some of the couches you can pay even $100,000 for.
Yeah, and then you have the ruffled thing like the Bulldog Eric has.
For God's sakes, I don't think that was 100 grand, but still, it was
No,
expensive
but
enough for me to be like, ugh. But then again, it's just a.
it'll be
It's a, it's
$100,000 when you find out all your change in those creases.
But yeah, that the frumpy couch, like it's not my style, right? But probably it's comfortable as hell.
I mean, then again,
But yeah,
100,000 in Swedish kroner isn't all that much nowadays.
yeah.
Isn't
See,
it
but this
basically
looks like
everybody a
walnut.
millionaire in Sweden?
Yeah, but see, like the 18s here look like they're walnut, but they're smoked oak, which is
Uh,
weird. That the play of the light, how it makes it look.
so will those become walnut too then?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're gonna be walnut, but the front definitely is gonna be walnut because it's
Then it
like
matches a bit.
my phone for some reason just sketches it in the wrong color, but it's much brighter. It's just like mine here. It's much brighter than it looks on the camera, right? But then again, if you compare it to the 18 behind me with this, it's definitely two different
Yeah.
wood species. So, and for me, continuity is important for my own personal psyche. 'Cause- But yeah, so that was my Saturday hobby project, to go in there and just fix the tuning and like make it sound fucking awesome. And everybody has
Sweet.
their reference tracks and whatnot, right? So, and I
Yeah.
guess by using the reference tracks, you introduce people to new music because, like everybody listens to different things in order to, for me, there's nothing better, in my opinion, to tune with but Depeche Mode Ultra, as far as for the vocals go and everything else. And also, stereo balance and so on and so forth. But I've been using that album since 1996 to do that for everything.
Yeah, everybody has their own.
Everybody has their song, right?
Ultimately,
They
your
just know.
reference tracks, the most important thing is that you know the music and that you can
That's
basically
right.
dream the notes.
Yeah. And
Uh,
that's how you know it sounds good or not.
yeah, speaking of some rumors, like Sandeep says, hardly any new products left for release in the next 6 months. The investor presentation mentioned only 3. So far, rumors include Beosound 2 Mozart, a 9 Mark V, aka Mozart, probably,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a color. I'm not sure they would put that as a product. Expect
They've
more
done it
colors.
before.
Yeah. I personally think it's a very high likelihood that we saw the new FCC application for the core, that could be Mozart.
I'm gonna look into bespoke department to price out a set of side panels for the Emergent Walnut.
By the way, what I just said is all rumored. None of it is confirmed.
I'm not confirming it.
No, this is why I'm saying it.
And I don't even know, honestly. I could agree with the Gen 5 for the A9, because if you look at the sales and stuff that's coming up, like they're definitely up on something. But I think that the discontinuing A9 as a product species, whatever generation you put it in, I think it's a great mistake, because it's a very, very, very nice product and very timeless
I have a
speaker.
feeling if there is going to be an upgrade in the A9, the biggest upgrade is going to be the chip, and the speaker configuration and that sort of thing is mostly going to stay the same.
Yeah, because you can't really improve on it much. Like
It's so full now.
it's
Like
maxed out.
it's 1500 watt now.
Holy fuck! It started at 480 when it first started.
Yeah, it's crazy. And with how B&O has actually made everything backwards compatible, I'm not even really sure it matters unless you really use Mozart all that much. Like, but
Yeah.
what's currently really the benefit of Mozart other than speaker pairing, which they may not even enable in an A9 because it's stereo anyway.
Mm. No, I think they would. They should. If it's a Mozart, I think it'll have that ability by default, and then just I guess it'll turn each of them to monos. You have two 1500 watt freaking stools of a
Well,
circle
try
standing
it
on
in the
top of
shop
them.
with a theater. See if you can stereo pair a theater. Because that's Mozart.
We only got one on display for now because we can't afford to put one
I
out
mean, that
because we
would be
just.
a very interesting surround sound setup, like where you just
Oh,
put
that'd be
another
fucked up
theater
behind
behind
you.
you.
Oh my god, that would be insane. Because then you would need just like a pair of 18s on each side. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure you would need that, but you have your point 0.4 Atmos with 4 upfiring.
Well, I'm not gonna sell them.
No, sure,
Or
but you'll have another room somewhere.
like it's I could literally trade them for a theater at this point.
Yeah.
Literally, I could trade them for a theater. I'm not gonna do that.
I wouldn't either. Like I've said before, 18s are ride or die for me. Like I'll keep this until I really can't even fix them anymore.
18s for me the same way, man. Till the wood falls off. Like I'm keeping those.
But yeah, this is the current A9, one 8-inch woofer for bass, two 3-inch mid ranges, two 1.5 full ranges, and two 3/4 tweeters.
But those two 1.5 inch full ranges, they're actually backwards firing.
Yes. So it's
FYI, people.
become from just front facing with the bass pointing back to now almost 360.
And now it does that adaptive room compensation based
Yeah.
off of it too. So, which is
So it's
different from active room compensation, which is done by, I guess, theater 50s and 90s at this point.
so it's 400 for just the bass, then mid ranges is another 400, 800 plus. So that's 1200 plus 300. It's 1500 watt. It's crazy powerful.
That is crazy powerful.
I mean, one A9 literally is 12 dB more bass capable than a set of 18s.
Mm-hmm. No, the A9 will bury a set of 18s any day of the week. Even two balances will bury the 18s any day of the week on the bass response. With the theater, I would say that they have a little more chance or a lot more chance, but yeah, the loss would be suffered for sure.
Yeah, Marky Meister says two A9s as rears you guys mentioned earlier would be boom. Yeah, I don't think these will ever be TV attached speakers though.
No,
Because
unless that Mozart platform does evolve to the point where theater will be able to harvest them as via Wi-Fi or network altogether. If you hardwire the theater, then you can hardwire all your speakers to the switch, of course, and maybe do it that way somehow. That would be fucking cool.
the Edge is more powerful, I think so, but it's mainly in bass driving.
Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, like that technology is already there between pairing the 28s, right?
Yes.
Because what they do if you have a 5 gigahertz network, the master or primary speaker, let's just do the correct terms now. The primary speaker will become 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi access point for the secondary speaker to connect to it. That's how that works. Or you can have them plugged in individually to the router based on, like if you have network connections going to where the speakers are located, awesome. You can also interconnect them or daisy chain them. So there are plenty of ways to do that, which means that like what is other than I guess the algorithm or a software per se that would prevent the theater to be on the same network scene. Okay, so there is 228 set up on the network. I can allocate them. I can allocate sound to them because they're already paired within themselves as left and right.
The only thing I could think of with potentially for TV use, why something like an A9 would have a hard time, is the amount of speakers and therefore the latency being higher than with a more simpler setup.
Oh, for 100%. Like there's no because the Beolink already by itself defaults to at least 50 millisecond or 250 millisecond of Wi-Fi delay between the lip sync,
So
unless you disable Beolink.
apparently an A9 is 3 dB more capable than even an Edge is.
Wow, that
Me-
Edge, I'm so glad it's gone, man. It was such a flop
Well, it's still available.
because they can't get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, it has a slighter maximum sound pressure, but less bass. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
It was a cool idea, but it was badly marketed, and I think it was a badly like. I think what was the coffin for this product was the fact of the product placement. That
Yes.
the options that it did for placement were silly.
I mean, this is a product for the VHNWIs.
Hmm.
For the high net worth individuals where you literally have, like, I don't know, like this, like you have 10 square feet or 3 square meters of living room where just nothing sits. And you
Yeah,
want
so you
to,
put that there.
yeah, because it is quite a sort of architectural looking piece, but you also then kind of must invest in putting all the cables in the floor, which is not a bad thing. It's just really, really pricey once you're
Hmm.
all done. And it's really, really inefficient with space.
Yeah, the only thing that this would be a good idea is on a post
Yeah.
somewhere in like larger space, swimming pools and whatever.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with it myself. I don't hate it, but I mean, the tech of the bass port and that sort of thing, and the rolling for volume and stuff is kind of cool.
Yes, I give them that, especially when you have it on the wall bracket to make it weightless to do that. That's sick. But
It's typical B&O to like go over the.
over the engineer the piss out of it. But yeah, as far as like I don't know where I would put it even in here. Like you put it in the corner or you put it on the thing. Like I don't know. I just wouldn't be able to place it somewhere where I would actually enjoy the sound out of it.
Fuck
What are
me,
you
I
suffering?
just got a leg cramp like crazy. Oh man.
There you go. We'll be
Oh.
back after the commercial break.
Jesus.
See?
It was one of those where I could barely like pull my leg out because it was just gonna cramp and cramp and cramp. Oh man.
That's what you get for talking shit about A9. I mean the H whatever the
Yeah.
freaking nonsense it is. Oh.
Yeah, like Sander, Anders sells A9 in his studio. That makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
But that's
But in a
also
living room, it doesn't, in my eyes. Like
I've seen
hallway.
one or two where it sort of looks okay, and actually in one it looked nice. But
There was one that they used it as a dot in the logo after S, I believe. Like it was that was a good idea.
yeah, that's Ryan Serhant, that New York real estate agent dude from the
Hmm.
TV show and YouTube fame and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's B&O obsessed too because his entire office is filled with shapes and harmonies and 18s and
Nice.
Beosound 2s and uh,
Nice. But
so
yeah, that's what I think. Shit's snowing sideways, bro. I have a half a meter of snow on my balcony. Just out of it's
yeah, in case
yeah.
people.
See, like Dad looks awesome, and he went skinny play cool, and put his logo up on it. Makes total sense, man.
Uh, And to boss, can't you position the edge the same as you can would an
No,
A9? No, because there's only one mid-range tweeter firing that way and one the other way. So your stereo perspective is literally cut in half by.
doing that.
With an A9, it's sort of like that. You have that circle, and it points like to oddly shaped boobies out to the
That's
world.
right. But yeah, see, that looks hot, man. I like that picture. I
Yeah,
like
and
the
it makes
whole.
total
It
sense
just
in a room like this
it
for sort of
fits in the
ambient.
decor. Yeah. But
Max says on stereo pairing topic, Bluetooth stereo pairing doesn't seem to work with Windows 11. Seems out of B&O's hands. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be a standard, right? And that's the problem with all these things. It's supposed to be a standard, but not everybody really adheres to everything about the standard all the time, which is stupid.
but that's life, though.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Like it's like the Apple routers that were never really in the 5 GHz standards for routers, or God, like the VW computers for diesels that were never really within the testing parameters.
But what Bluetooth stereo pairing are we talking about? Like the burger or like the Violet 12s? I mean 20s? What stereo pairing are we talking about when you talk to Windows, or like when you're talking Windows, or like the S3 or no S5? I guess it was
It could be that if you would stereo pair two burgers, or
Violet 17. There
like
you go.
when you stereo pair them, that Windows will only talk to one and not the stereo pair.
But the stereo pairing is done between the speakers, not the actual device.
Yeah, but if Windows will find a way to mess it up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because that makes no sense. Like it should, if you pair the first one and then you play music to it, and then you pair them both through the Bluetooth ding dong, it doesn't work. Yeah, and Windows messes with it. That's a touche honky, man. Like that fucking what it is.
It's probably something that Apple fixed 5, 6, 7 years ago.
But
Where
Mr. Bill Gates were busy researching vaccines, so he didn't have time to deal with the Bluetooth.
no, it activated it.
Oh God.
Stay loyal to the foil, my friends.
Oh, that's funny. It's true. But yeah, I think that's the problem. That yeah, Windows is a great operating system, but it also sucks immensely in the same time.
Eventually, maybe this is partially why I'm less critical about the very, very old stuff B&O stopped supporting, because in essence, Windows runs into the same problem, right? Where every legacy thing has to be supported. Back to the DOS days.
Yeah, well, they kind of don't have a choice because some of those government systems are still running on DOS and shit.
Yeah, I get it. But like B&O, I mean, it's crazy to think that you can sort of still have a theater talk to a record player that was sold in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, we're 50 years on, and it still works. And I mean, maybe this is why you sort of expect it, because they've always done it, but they don't really market it much anymore. And at some point, you sort of it's understandable that stuff becomes that incompatible.
I find that BeoLink should be marketed more, and for a simple reason that knowing what I know now and going to the homes that I go to and so on and so forth, I find that the Spotify Connect or AirPlay is way more hanky than the BeoLiving or BeoLink environment on its own. Like if you have, oh well, yeah, Spotify. Oh, fuck the Spotify. Get a Deezer. It's not gonna, like, you're not gonna lose an arm. It's just a few hours of your time. to migrate the music, and maybe you won't even copy over all the shit because you don't listen to all the shit.
Yeah.
So you just put the music, and if you think of some obscure that you forgot to copy, then you can just search it. If it works, it works. Doesn't, then touche, whatever. But the experience is so much smoother, and especially now on the Mozart with the BNO radio. The only thing I don't like about the BNO radio that I would definitely would like to, I guess, make a request for change, and I will, is if you set favorites in your BNO radio, they should be you can control them by digits, but you can't do it anywhere else but other on P plus and P minus. So I would like, and because that worked on tuning where I had, like 10 different or 8 different radio stations, and I know which one, press number 3 was Lounge FM and blah blah blah. It just worked no problem. Where with this one, I understand you have the list of stations under the music button and then BNO radio, right?
Hmm.
But that's so many more steps instead of just going BNO radio or press music. And now that you will be able to default the radio into just the initial music button press, I'm happy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the things that I guess if there's always going to be a room for improvement, it's not to bitch or be negative, I guess, but there's few things that I think they should still give it a thought. And I don't know how many people actually live with the product is another thing, because it's a different way to interact with something that you show up for work to
Oh, for
than to have
sure.
it at home. You know
But
what I
this
mean?
is the exact reason why I think the usability of the app is so strange for the theater, because it's designed by UX designers at work, and they think about how UX designers would use it,
Hmm.
and they probably use it with keyboard and or mouse most of the time, like you do in your BlueStacks, right? And then the clicking around is not so bad. But if you have a larger iPhone where, or let's say you're the woman of the house, and you go, well, where is this? Oh, I have a normal size phone. This now still means I need two hands because the
Yeah,
top button is so fucking far away.
that's right. So it's yeah, they're a little bit away, but you know what?
I mean,
It's the
I
first
don't have
product.
small hands, but to like go from a lot of things that are down there to all the way there, you have to readjust your grip every time if you want to do it one handed.
Yeah, my phone is half a kilo, so I just do it one hand with the phone and the other on the screen because it's just like
Sure, but if you I don't know, let's say you're watching something and you need to change something, it's like, okay, now we're gonna do two hands. It's like,
yeah.
and what is it? I don't even have the extremely large one. I have the normal, uh, but they're all larger now. We're all walking around with semi iPads.
Basically. So yeah, I just there's few things that are disconnected. I understand the reason for this not to being on screen, and I essentially don't mind the use of the app, and kind of it's like every old dog that's made to be taught new tricks. It's just you don't like it, but then you just get used to it. And I've gotten used to the app. I have no qualms about it, other than like a few little bugs and nicks and quirks that should be also fixable or modifiable per se. The source arrangement, which it is in a Beo Remote one, but also that one click operation should be starting something, not just opens a menu and then you select either YouTube or, in my case, Plex. So,
Congratulations to Doctor. He also ordered a theater yesterday.
all right, on brother.
Sweet.
Welcome to the club.
Prepare for
Send
bass.
pictures. That's right. Yeah, and send some pics of the setup once you get it done, man. Would be nice to share it with the group, everybody that gets on. We all like to see everybody else's shit because it's just the way we are. And be sure your cable man is good, man, because we'll tear your ass up.
Well, I'm less critical because I'm not Danish yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna be critical.
But I see your cable. Why is
It's the
that
only
not
one.
managed yet?
Because I'm negotiating with the landlord to get a fucking LAN connection from the Ubiquity thing, and then put a cable, and then put it all in the loom. And that extension cord is definitely not long enough. So
Dare you?
also, I'm not planning to live here for long, so this is this will do.
No, if you have 50s and if you have an older BV, the theater is very much worth it.
It'll change your life.
The same thing it does to 18s, it does to 50s, where like holy moly, the speaker is different now.
I can't hardly wait to hook up my 90s back online.
I think it'll be scary.
Well, it's Florida. They got hurricane windows, so I don't have to worry about much.
Yeah, sure, but like it's like you're like, ugh.
Yeah, no,
my shirt is moving on my body, and I'm just listening to music. What's going on?
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm gonna let you guys go and watch the snow blow sideways out of my window.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Stefan, for the kind dono. Hope everybody has a good Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday, and we'll
unless
do
you have some more of that chicken.
Let's hope not. I've been so bland with food since then. Like, what do you have today? Like
tea and crackers.
For 48 hours, I was literally not hungry, and I hadn't eaten anything. And then it was like, I'll have some toast with some butter.
That's that, dude. That is some proper ass food poisoning, dude. I've never, believed in it till I got it, but bro, like that's a life altering experience.
Yes. So have a good one, everybody. I'll roll the outro. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet already, and see you in the next one.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
When this long night will fade away, and we go back to our old ways, to perfect strangers in the skies. When the sun is going to stretch its arms on the road, turn us again with his shrill call into perfect strangers in disguise. But until then,